Hola y bienvenidos a un nuevo vídeo del canal. Estamos aquí de vuelta una vez más con Genshin Impact y hoy toca algo bastante especial y largo en este caso, que no es otra cosa que el último de los encuentros. Así que vamos a venir aquí, vamos a venir a misiones legendarias, venimos a encuentros y toca desbloquear el final, o en este caso el encuentro, perdón, de Ninguang. Vamos a venir aquí y otra invitación a la Cámara de Jade. Vamos allá, gastamos 2 llaves legendarias y lo tenemos desbloqueado, así que vamos a empezarlo. Vale, pues nada, ve a la Cámara de Jade a ver a Ninguang. Pues ya lo sabéis, parece que todo empieza en la Cámara de Jade. Supongo que va a ser una manera muy interesante de conocer un poquito más de este increíble personaje. Así que vamos a la Cámara de Jade y vamos a ver de qué va su historia, sus finales y un encuentro con una de las 7 estrellas de Liyue. Así que vamos a Leo, con Xiao como siempre, vamos a por toda la aventura. ¿Y qué queréis que os diga? Estoy súper contento, tenía muchísimas ganas de este encuentro. Tengo que decir que lo próximo probablemente que veáis ya sea la aventura de lo de o el evento o empezarlo del subsuelo y luego traigo el evento de las pociones. Pero es que hay mucho contenido que traer estos días al canal de Genshin Impact y no estoy teniendo nada de tiempo. O sea, me ha pillado de verdad del toro con todos los sentidos. Tengo grandes proyectos esta semana, pero es que de verdad hago lo que puedo. Vamos allá, vamos a ver de qué va esta nueva aventura.
It looks like all our problems are solved. Welcome to the Jade Chamber.
Hola.
Oh, great. I have no idea what we would have done otherwise.
I didn't think we'd really manage to get you here. This was a last-minute situation, and you're the one we trust the most.
¿Qué pasó?
To put it simply, we are just looking for the right person to help. We had a very long discussion about it. I have tasked my 3 most trusted secretaries with overseeing an important auction tomorrow. This, however, leaves their regular duties unattended to, and the work cannot afford to go undone. The nature of their day-to-day work is highly sensitive and confidential, so whomever I ask to fill in needs to be someone I can trust, and who doesn't have a conflict of interest.
¿Y te acordaste de mí?
Yes, you were the person who came to mind. We may not have spent a great deal of time together, but I do place a great deal of trust in you. To me, this work is highly sensitive and of utmost importance, though I'm sure you'll find it to be mundane at best. It would not surprise me if you can't bear the tedium or can't make the time. And yet, despite this, I thought it could do no harm to ask the question, on the off chance that you are interested. As it happens, I was just having a discussion on backup plans with my secretaries before—
But the outcome of that discussion, this is a good reminder that we should always have a contingency plan for—
Anyway, this may add to the debt of gratitude I owe you. But the fact is, your arrival here has rescued what was fast becoming a rather dire situation.
Espero estar a la altura de las
I
circunstancias.
wouldn't worry. It's all work you'll be quite
Vale,
familiar
planificar
with.
itinerarios, organizar
Planning
información y
all
demás.
basic skills
Parece fácil.
required by competent adventurers, if I'm not mistaken.
Bueno, lo intentaré.
If you have any questions about your work, I will answer. The administrative work Lady Ninguang touched upon just now is only one aspect. You'll also be required to cater for Lady Ninguang's basic daily needs.
Eso es un
such as-
poco
Don't be
complicado, ¿no? Por lo que estoy viendo. Madre
I
mía,
won't
o
put you
sea,
in a
pinta guay.
difficult position, and I will fully respect your judgment. All right. Please proceed to the office. Bai Shi will go over the work with you in more detail.
Yes, Lady Ninguang. Okay, let's go.
Pues flipando me encuentro, la verdad, no me lo esperaba para nada, algo así. Y bueno, vamos a hablar con Baishi, que se encontrará abajo, por cierto. Aquí abajo, ahora cuando vengáis, ya sabéis que en esta estantería ahí suelen haber libros, así que si no os habéis cogido todavía, pues importante. Vamos a ver el muro, ¿no?
Before I get into specifics, I want to start by giving you the big picture. As a member of the Liyue Qixing, Lady Ninguang's every move is in the spotlight. Maintaining her perfect image at all times is absolutely essential. My usual job is to be her right hand, to maintain her image and take care of all her worries.
Vale, es como su secretaria.
For example, arranging her daily schedule, picking out clothes for her, dressing her, applying her perfume.
Tus ojos están brillando.
You misunderstand me. I am simply trying to impress upon you the sheer importance of the work you will be undertaking.
Bai Shi has always been very passionate about her work. I can leave any task in her capable hands and rest assured that her performance will be nothing short of exemplary. I'm sure she was simply trying to share some of her enthusiasm. in the hopes that you may find it infectious.
Thank you, lady. Back to the topic at hand. Let's get into the details. Bai
Vale.
Xiao and Bai Wen handle tasks that require enormous experience, while I'm mainly responsible for organizing her daily schedule and making sure she is well fed, dressed for any occasion, and that all her needs are met. I can go through the methods I use and give you some pointers based on my experience to ensure that you are fully equipped to perform your duties.
Es solo su rutina diaria, no habrá ningún problema.
All in a day's work for
A
the
ver qué pasa,
traveler,
Se puede liar muy parda
Great.
y lo
Then I'll
sabemos.
skip that and just get to the handover of duties. Currently, there
Vale.
are 133 items that have yet to be scheduled, 17 of which are high importance, and
¿Tantos?
yes, I did try to make a start in advance, but only got as far as roughly prioritizing the tasks before I ran out of time. I'll go through the most important items with you in more detail. If there's anything you don't understand, feel free to stop me with questions at any point.
Sí, no entiendo casi nada, pero vale.
First is the periodic meeting with the representatives of the 8 trades. After that, fielding opinions on revisions to the... Then, a discussion with Lady Kuching on issues relating to time restrictions on land conveyance deals. Following that, there's a Q&A session with all the major commerce guilds.
What?
Right after that, there's...
Espera. Para planificar la agenda debo entender lo que tienes que hacer con Ninguang con tanto detalle porque no me estoy enterando de nada, sinceramente. O sea, estoy leyendo la misión y me está petando la cabeza, bro.
Yes, you do. To the uninitiated, scheduling may sound like a simple process of... You need to take travel time into account, along with a whole spectrum of potential issues that can arise. Ample knowledge of all outside factors that may weigh upon your Plan A is essential to devise a workable contingency plan. I
Vale.
assume this is all making sense. Unless you had any other questions at this point?
Mira, voy a ser sincero, en realidad no entendí ninguno.
Good. Then let's press on. We're tight on time here, and there's a lot to get through. And we still need to leave enough time for you to prepare Lady Ningguang's schedule.
No hace falta.
Already? Wow. You're a fast learner. Very good. This will be much more efficient.
Wonderful. Then I'll be counting on you to provide my schedule for tomorrow.
Lo haré lo mejor
I'm
posible.
grateful for your assistance. Now, I will leave you here in peace to proceed with your work. I still have a few items from today's schedules that need addressing. If anything else is unclear, you can ask by
Pero
Shenhe.
si no me he enterado de nada de lo que me ha
Take
dicho,
care,
pero
Lady
bueno.
Ningguang.
Ay, en conclusión, debo evitar lo más complicado. Vale, ahí está la agenda. Día libre.
Don't you think that this schedule is a bit of a light load?
Ninguém no tomaba vacaciones en un tiempo, ¿no? Pues que descanse.
Yeah, that's true. Lady Ningguang has a lot of work to attend to, and frankly, she doesn't have many opportunities to rest. We do sometimes worry about her health, but her attitude is very Mora-driven. If by taking a break there's a chance she'll lose Mora, she'll never agree to it.
No hay cantidad de moras que valga la pena si arruinas tu salud en ello.
Huh. I see where you're coming from. All right then, let's go with your plan. I'm sure Lady Ningguang has plenty she wants to talk about with you. There's a lot of things that need doing over at the auction venue, so I will be leaving you now.
Espero que todo salga bien.
I hope so too. You must be exhausted.
Vale, nos manda a dormir, así que nada. Tenemos el plan sencillito para Ninguang, vamos a hablar con ella. Hay que esperar hasta el día siguiente, hasta 7 o 8 horas, ¿no? Por tanto, venimos aquí, seleccionamos el reloj. Y bueno, lo bueno es que nos vale, ¿no? Ahí está. Ya pasa el día, así que guay. Despierta a Ninguang. Toc toc.
Yes, I'm already awake. I'll be out in a moment. I'm just changing.
Vale, se está cambiando.
Good morning. Did you sleep well?
Como siempre.
That's good. I was worried you'd be a little uncomfortable.
No, no te preocupes.
So, what's item 1 on today's schedule?
Mira, estos son los planazos que te he preparado.
I imagine this must have taken Baisher completely by surprise.
Sí, pero dijo que no iba a intervenir.
Sure. There's no harm in changing my schedule around once in a... My schedule is usually very tightly packed, and any extra time I can squeeze out is spent on preparing for the future. So, it'll be quite nice to take a break.
¿No descansas muy a menudo?
I
Madre mía,
don't often
pobrecita.
feel tired. Seeing the Mora come in has a way of making me feel quite invigorated. Still, your idea is very sensible. Mora can only lift a weary spirit. It cannot... So then, the days ahead of us. Any ideas on how to spend it?
Sí. A ver. He tenido tiempo, oportunidad. Hagamos lo que no has tenido oportunidad de hacer antes.
Something I never have the interesting. Before I decide, I'd like to know, what gave you this idea? Because as far as most people are concerned, Mora is the key to any and all opportunities.
Pero el Mora también puede ser una limitación.
Yes, you're absolutely right. This is what I appreciate about you. You see things the way they are, rather than how they appear. I want to do something a little self-indulgent.
Claro, lo que quieras.
Thank you. All right, here it is. I've always thought it would be fun to recapture what life was like before I joined the Liyue Qixing.
Oh.
I was born into a humble family, and all the wealth you see now began with a single haul of fish.
¿Sabes pescar?
I had to. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Fishing isn't the half of it. You'd be amazed at some of the odd jobs I've worked in my time. A lot of the old folks like to brag about how I used to be their errand runner back in the day.
Pero tiene sentido.
They were tough times, but I had a clear goal and plenty of motivation. If I didn't make any money in the morning, I'd have no food for lunch. I want to relive that time for my life. Feel some of that drive again. So how about it? Will you join me?
Sí, claro.
Great. Then let me lay down the ground. We're not to use our status or reputation in Liyue Harbor to our advantage, and we have no starting capital. The goal is to see how much more we can make under these conditions.
Vamos al Banco del Reino Norte a buscar algo de trabajo, no. Comencemos por los trabajos que no requieran dinero.
Okay, but working as a day laborer could be quite dull. Why don't we go down to the docks? They periodically throw out a lot of unclaimed or abandoned goods. We might find something that we can exchange for Mora.
No es una manera muy decente de conseguir dinero, pero...
What does it matter? Don't worry about it. Come on, let's go down to the docks.
Vamos a los muelles. Pues nada, a ver, parece que toca abrir el mapa, ¿no? Y ir a los muelles, ¿no? Supongo, a ver. Vamos allá, ya sabéis. Aquí. TP y al lío. Pues de momento lo que digo, como encuentro... A ver, es que realmente es raro un poquito no ver a Ninguang así, ver el tema siempre de lo ocupada que está y todo esto. Y no sé, me está pareciendo un encuentro quizás un poquito raro, ¿no? Es muy interesante el tema del día. Sí que sirve para conocer un poco a Ninguang, pero hay que tener en cuenta, ¿no? El cómo es Ninguang de por sí. Aún así me está gustando, me está pareciendo, lo que digo, una manera fácil de conocerla. Y ojo, con muchas ganas de ver cómo sigue esta historia. Lo de los encuentros es lo que digo, es algo que siempre me llama muchísimo la atención, me divierte en gran cantidad. Y bueno, aquí pues no está mal, ¿no? A ver... Que no carga, espérate. Esto es porque no me ha cargado, ¿no? Ahí, Go Ángel. Últimamente aquí en Play pasa mucho, que las texturas le cuestan bastante de cargar. Fijaos en la camiseta del pobre hombre.
Ninguang, to what do I owe the honor? Are you here to inspect the goods in the warehouse? You may have to wait a moment. I must have not gotten the message. Sorry, I won't be long. I'll grab all the paperwork right away.
Calm down. No need to panic. That's not why we're here.
Oh, you're just looking for me? I haven't done anything. Have I? I mean, I don't think so.
Queremos preguntar por las mercancías sin reclamar.
All right, the periodic clearances. Yeah, I've been handling those, strictly per the protocol. I make sure I post all the necessary notices and notify every individual that It used to be a huge problem, but with a bit of hard work, I've managed to reduce the amount of goods we need to clear out by at least half.
¿Por qué hay tanta mercancía sin retirar?
It's hard to say. It really depends. Everyone has their own reasons. But as far as the warehouse is concerned, they all fall into these categories: unclaimed goods, damaged goods, or unpaid storage fees. As for the damaged ones, I guarantee you it's nothing to do with how they're stored. It's because some things go bad more if it sits there in the warehouse for too long. It goes without saying that it could start to affect the other goods. but that is...
So, have you cleared out any of these goods recently?
I'm afraid we just finished clearing out all the big ones. But don't worry, Lady Ninguang. If you're here for an inspection, then I'm here to make it happen. Hang tight. I'll grab some of the smaller items for you right away.
Hold on. Oh,
Se fue volando.
I don't think he has quite grasped the nature of this situation.
No podemos culparle. Después de un rato, Go Sanner aparece sin aliento.
Lady Ninguang, I had a quick run through the list and cleared out some more items. Please, inspect them.
Let me see here.
Comida húmeda, un zapato viejo, un
Soggy
espejo roto y un
food,
pequeño juguete de madera.
An odd shoe, a broken mirror.
Están hechos
small
polvo. Ya
wooden
sabemos por qué nadie viene
toy.
por ellos.
It's a shame we missed the last clearance. Some of these are true junk, but there are a few items of value here. Take this wooden toy, for example. The wood is good quality. If you took it apart, there's quite a number of useful everyday objects that you could turn it into.
¿Podemos quedarnos con estas cosas?
Huh? Well, sure. Take whatever you want.
Great. This is going well.
Comprobemos bien qué podríamos utilizar realmente.
Yes. And once we're done, we will find a merchant to give us an appraisal of their value.
I have no idea what's going on here, and I'm not about to ask either.
Vale. Ok, tenemos aquí la bolsa, así que vamos a ver el tema de el comerciante. Para ello, creo que por aquí, si no me equivoco, puedo venir, ¿no? Ahí estamos. Y vamos a poder venir por este lateral para llegar al comerciante de una manera fácil y sencilla. De nuevo utilizaremos al Xiao aquí con su carga para llegar un poquito antes con el planeo y demás. Y vamos a ver si hay suerte y hemos encontrado algo de valor para empezar a hacer un poco nuestra nueva fortuna gracias a Ninguang. A ver, teniendo que ver con la Cámara de Jade y la Reina del Comercio, ¿no? Obviamente íbamos a tratar estos temas en el encuentro. ¿Cuánto tiempo? Voláis.
Lady Ninguang, welcome to my humble store. What can I get for you?
Actually, today's a little different. I'm not here to buy anything. I wanted to ask if you could take a look at some goods for me.
Just take a look? What for?
¿Podrías decirnos el precio estimado de estos artículos?
Oh, I see. Let me take a look then.
Vale.
I mean, I can take them. I have a few regular customers I can talk to. They should be able to salvage the raw materials. Shouldn't take long at all. But,
What's wrong? If it's too much trouble, please, there's no need to force it.
No, it's nothing like that. Well, anyway, let's talk prices. So all of these together, I'll give you 150,000 mora. How does that sound?
¿Cuánto mora por 4 cosas viejas?
Oh, well...
No worries. The price is negotiable, of course, so we can discuss it further. If that figure's not what you had in mind, I can, bump it up a little. It'll be fine. I'm sure we can reach an agreement here.
What are your thoughts? Yes. At most, these items are only worth a couple of thousand mora.
Huh? Wait a minute. So, and specifically, these things? I thought that was all code for some kind of inspection or something.
Otro
It
malentendido.
appears so. We can't go on like this. Let's try something else. As long as we're in Liyue Harbor, this kind of misunderstanding is inevitable. If I wasn't Ninguang, Go Sonar probably wouldn't have handed all of these over to us, and you likely wouldn't be willing to buy them either.
To be completely honest,
This goes against the rules we set for ourselves at the start.
Entonces tendremos que irnos de Liyue y vivir como auténticos aventureros.
Are there any other ways for adventurers to make mora besides their remuneration from the guild?
Podemos ir a Llanura Gili en busca de tesoros, pero es un trabajo duro y mal pagado.
Great. I don't mind. Let's give it a try.
you two have a good one.
Bueno, pues nada, nos vamos a Llanura Gili. Vale, vamos a buscar un tesoro, así que como ya sabéis, vamos a activar el mapa. Obviamente mientras estéis haciendo los encuentros y demás, acordaros que el multijugador se queda como desactivado hasta que o como que lo detenéis o lo completáis, importante. Pero bueno, vamos a el lugar en este caso indicado y a ver un poquito cómo va este encuentro. De verdad, me está gustando bastante lo que estoy viendo, me está pareciendo muy divertido. Y yo creo que al final Ninguang, que es uno de esos personajes que aunque lleve mucho tiempo con nosotros, ¿no? Es complicado a veces el interactuar con ella. Así que vamos a aprovechar todo este tiempo para ver qué descubrimos por aquí. De nuevo lo que digo, estas aventuras están bastante divertidas, pero aquí parece que hay un cofre y un tesoro, así que vamos a por todas.
This must be the place.
Bueno, está claro que tenemos ahí la zona. Ojo, podemos controlar a Ninguang, que eso está guay. Ninguang es un personaje que la verdad que yo lo tengo en C6 y apenas lo uso, pero es muy chulo. La verdad que a ver si con todo esto, ahora que van a dar el traje de ella y demás en un evento futuro, me animo y empiezo a levearlo, porque es que al final es lo que digo, con tanto personaje, luego me dejo y juego siempre los que más me gustan y demás de apariencia. Y mira que hay chulos. Vamos a abrir el cofre y a ver qué pasa.
It feels like it's been a long time since I've gotten so physical. The feeling of creating your wealth with your own two hands is just as exhilarating as ever.
Incluso tratándose de tan poco.
Yes, I'd say so. Everything starts out small. You focus on quantity at the outset. And let's not forget, we started with no initial capital. It's reasonable to expect building something from nothing to be highly... In any case, the sight of Mora has always had a way of improving my mood, no matter what the sum is.
Entonces hay que aprovechar ese entusiasmo para continuar.
I intend to. This time, let's try something a little more challenging.
Vale, algo más complicado, mazmorra. Sigue buscando cofres, pues de momento parece que no. Bueno, ojo, aquí han aparecido un montón de cofres, ¿no? Por lo que digo que no nos va a contar para el porcentaje, pero bueno. Nueva oleada de enemigos, aquí vamos a soltar un Xiao en todo su esplendor. Ahí está. ¿Dónde está el grandullón? Se ha ido, no sé por qué. Mejor cofre.
Another satisfying haul.
Eres muy buena en esto.
What? That's very kind of you. But I know I'm no match for a professional adventurer like yourself. For me, a battle is just a form of exercise. A way to keep fit and use up any surplus energy.
¿Ya estás satisfecha?
Oh no, not yet. There's more Mora to be made. Hey, look. What's that hole in the ground?
Creo que es un agujero de un hurón ladrón.
Oh, I see. So if we catch it, there's Mora for the taking?
Claro, después de todo le gusta el Mora tanto como a ti.
Oh, how quaint. That was your Beto impression, was it? Well, I'm afraid I'm having far too much fun to stop what I'm doing and start bickering with you, Cap. Come on, let's go get this weasel thief.
Vale. Pues nada. Hay que seguir el rastro del hurón, ¿no?
There it is! After it!
Ahí está.
Goodness, this reminds me of fishing. Not an easy catch, but we didn't let it slip away, and the haul is now ours. That's what counts.
¿Cuánto hemos ganado?
Let's see.
Ojo, más de 1000 Mora.
We can't do any serious business with this amount of starting capital. We need to keep working hard.
¿Qué tal si nos tomamos un descanso primero?
Actually, now that you mention it, I'm suddenly a little hungry.
Vale.
Wangshu Inn is right there, but...
Dadas nuestras finanzas, será mejor descartar la opción de la posada.
Same thoughts here, after how hard we worked to get our hands on this Mora. In which case, I think I'll take this opportunity to show you a skill that I used to be rather proud of.
¿Pescar?
Yes, but the rule of the game is no fishing rods allowed.
Pescar a
Come
mano.
on.
Vale. Me mola esa idea. Guay, está guay. Hace tiempo que no pescamos a mano, así que vamos allá. Lo clásico, como cuando empezábamos la partida, ¿vale? Ya sabéis, venimos por aquí. Vale,
This
ya
should
está.
be enough.
Ahí estamos.
Let's head back to land and grill them.
Vale. ¡Qué pescada que nos hemos pegado, Ninguang casa el pescado como experta, ojo.
Here. A fresh catch can go straight on the grill with minimal preparation, and it's a little charred. That's on purpose. Normally, I have to make a special request to the chef if I want it to taste like this.
Gracias.
I'm okay. It was nothing. Back in the day, I had to hurry home after work to do my household chores. Then, in the evening, it was out to the night market with the family to support our stall. I was always meticulous with the most menial of tasks. My mother always loved that about me. But, by the same token, she didn't love the idea of me leaving home and starting my own business. She thought
Si eso hubiera
it was
sido el
just
caso,
an
no existiría ninguna
unnecessary
señorita
risk when I
Ninguang
could
cara,
just
¿verdad?
You'd be more likely to see me pulling up outside Wanmin restaurant and selling grilled tiger fish from a food cart. My childhood memories run deep. I'll always have a special affection for fish. They are confined to the water, and yet they live free, swimming around wherever the mood takes them.
Justo como los aventureros.
It is. I have greatly enjoyed experiencing the adventurer lifestyle with you. When I think back on all my hard work in the past,
La próxima vez yo seré pescado para ti.
That sounds great. But, a word of warning. I am very picky about my grilled fish.
Bueno, parece que con esto tenemos el primer final. Ahí está. Vamos a guardar. Fortuna compartida. Completado. Oh yeah. Ok, pues volvemos aquí a abrir el menú. Vamos a abrir de nuevo esto y vamos a ver las variantes, en este caso, que se pueden hacer. Desde aquí, desde planeado un itinerario, vemos que hay varias opciones, así que hemos elegido la de tiempo libre. Y por lo visto, aquí solo hay un final, pero en este momento esto se divide en tres, en el punto de tiempo libre. Así que vamos allá. Tenemos que volver en este caso a la Cámara de Jade, así que vamos a hacer el teleport y allí tendremos que esperar hasta el día siguiente. Por tanto, como ya sabéis, vamos a venir por aquí, vamos a marcar la Cámara de Jade y a Leo. Pinta interesante este tipo de saber que con esta parte ya tenemos tres nuevas opciones, o sea, dos opciones extra, así que ahora simplemente tenemos que descubrir cómo llegar a esas opciones. Por tanto, vamos un poquito a ver más, ¿no?, de estas opciones para conocer un poquito más a Ninguang, ya que creo que puede ser muy divertido. Como siempre, ya sabéis, tenemos que despertarla. Así que lo primero de todo, entramos en la Cámara de Jade y desde allí ya vamos un poquito a poder despertar a esta bella durmiente. Por tanto, vamos a utilizar la opción, en este caso, del reloj para avanzar un poquito el tiempo y ver lo que nos aguarda. Lo bueno de estas conversaciones de ahora es que básicamente van a ser bastante sencillitas. Ya habremos visto la mayoría hasta que cojamos el otro camino y por tanto podemos aprovechar y podemos pasarlas un poquito rápido. Como siempre, vamos a... Creo que no va a contar y tengo que darle doble vuelta, si no me equivoco, Un momentito. Ahí está, correcto. Tengo que hacer doble esta vez. A ver. ¿Qué pasa si me espero más de la cuenta? Porque me he pasado de hora, ¿no? Ah, que no la he levantado. Genial. Tiene que ser entre las 7 y las 8, no vale otra hora. Esa es buena, ¿eh? A ver, a ver, a ver, a ver. Ay, que no es aquí. Me he venido yo aquí estoy convencido. ¿Cómo que abajo? Ah, vale, que estoy en el piso de arriba, tío. Claro, claro. Es aquí, es aquí. Que llego tarde.
Yes, I'm already awake.
Vale.
I'll be out in a moment. I'm just changing.
Vale, pues se cambia, sale de su habitación.
Good morning. Did
Y
you sleep
vamos a
well?
decirle, no podía dormir por la ansiedad.
So, what's item
Mira
one
estos
on...
planes.
I imagine this must have... Sure.
Vale, esto es lo
My
de-
schedule is
lo de
usually...
siempre.
So, it'll be quite nice. I don't often... Still. So then.
Hagamos lo que no has tenido tiempo de hacer antes.
Something I never... Ah, have you played the chess game I made?
¿Y se llama Mil años
heard
en
of-
Liyue?
Yes. When I was designing it, I wanted it not only to be a fun game, so I
Vale.
introduced a lot of concepts that aren't part of traditional chess, as well as different chess pieces and even boards.
Ojo.
I'm constantly revising and expanding it. So far, there are over 30 editions.
¿Qué proyecto tan ambicioso?
True. That's one reason why it's been difficult to catch up. But I don't feel that making it easier to learn is necessarily a good thing. Isn't one of the joys of playing chess to continually learn and progress through a complex set of rules?
¿Cómo hacemos que se vuelva popular?
I think the key will be to make something that easily catches the attention of people who haven't played much chess before. I'm planning to make a new set with the board and pieces based on the battle for Liyue. One side will play the Guardians of Liyue Harbor. The other side will play the Fatui and Osile.
Suena divertido.
No problem. I will let you try it out as soon as I finish the prototype. I want to make each of the chess pieces of Liyue Millennial as true to life as possible. And no Guardians of Liyue chess set would be complete without
Entonces,
you.
¿quieres hacer
would
una
it?
pieza mía?
I am indeed. Many of them, in fact. My thinking was that only people who pre-order the chess set at full price will be eligible to receive the limited edition Traveler chess piece. It seems only fitting for someone of your status.
Así que soy parte del plan de promoción.
Naturally, since you are the face of that historic event. I intend to make chess pieces for everyone who was involved that day, including myself. Everyone who owns this chess set will preserve this moment in history in a vivid and compelling form.
Suena genial.
Then it's decided. Come with me. To make this chess piece, I need to take some measurements.
Vale, pues parece que ahora tenemos que ir a encargar la pieza en Liyue, ¿no? Vale, vamos un momentito a Liyue. Vamos allá. Y venimos aquí. A ver. Vamos allá. Tenemos que esperar a que cargue. Es lo que digo, no sé por qué esto carga muy lento en Play últimamente y nos está dando un poquito de fallo con la última actualización, poca broma. Es que se notan muchísimo los tiempos de carga.
Oh, Lady Ninguang and the Traveler.
Oh, hola.
You already know each other?
Sí, nos hemos visto antes.
Oh, I think it goes a little deeper than that. I don't teach my hard-earned skills to just anyone, you know. There's a word for people like you, who are warm one minute and cold the next. Fickle.
You seem to be in a good mood today.
As ever, there's nothing special about today, but seeing you two has definitely perked me up. All jokes aside, how can I be of service today?
Remember the custom chess pieces I told you about? I'd
Pero
like
no
you
se
to take
dedica a la
his measurements.
Whatever business I'm in, I am first and foremost a woman of many talents. Don't you remember when I taught you how to make perfume? There was no porcelain involved in that. As it happens, I am a skilled tailor as well. What can I say? I'm in the prime of my youth, and I love all beauty.
Yingar is every bit as proficient as any of the top tailors in the land.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just realizing that the Traveler only thinks I'm good at one thing. You'll find all the tools you could need in the room. Please, help yourselves. I'll stay outside and mind my own porcelain business.
Huh? What are you expecting me to do here?
Oh, I think the traveler is the one you should be asking about that.
No estaba insinuando nada.
It's hard not to tease when you're both so well matched. Come on then, step inside and I'll examine your body from tip to toe.
Ginger termina de tomar tus medidas sin más sobresaltos. Qué fuerte.
If I hear any strange new rumors after this, you will be my #1 suspect.
Rumors about the traveler or the chess piece?
Either. Both are confidential.
Don't worry, I know where the
Me
line
encanta
is.
Ninguang,
I'd
es lo que
never
digo,
take a
esta
joke
seriedad
too
en todo
far.
momento y ese modo de
Secrets
vas
are
a
only
morir.
fun when they're kept
Espero que de verdad
secret.
sepas cuál es el límite.
Just enough with the ambiguous phrasing, okay?
You're always welcome at Scent of Spring.
Madre mía. Vale, hay que ir a las joyas a hacer el encargo, ¿no? Vale.
It doesn't bother me. I just hope she didn't make you feel too awkward.
Nah, ha sido gracioso, Ninguang, no te
Now
preocupes.
that your measurements are taken, let's go to Mingxing Jewelry and put an order in.
Pues vamos aquí y vamos a hacer el pedido. Para ello, ya sabéis, hablamos con Shinji. Bueno, aquí, en nuestro propio juego de ajedrez, poca broma.
Hello, Lady Ninguang. What can I do for you today?
That chess piece I told you about? We can start work now. I have the traveler's measurements here.
Okay, let me just double check. Looks good. This has all the measurements we need. I'll pass them on to the craftsman shortly.
Ojo.
Good. And as agreed, please use top-grade materials only.
Of course, we are professionals, and we will do everything we can to deliver the high standard you expect.
Vale.
Although, speaking to you as a friend, I have to tell you that the sale price you indicated won't even cover the cost of production. I don't mean just the material costs either. Waiting around for top-quality materials drags out the production time and also reduces the total quantity we can produce.
That's okay. This one is not for profit. With every previous set, there's always been some degree of commercial or marketing considerations to bear in mind. To that point, as you know, the prototype of the Jade Chamber chess piece has been in the works for a long time, but I haven't once followed up on the progress.
¿La Cámara de Jade? ¿Este ajedrez tiene una pieza de la Cámara de Jade?
Yes, and just like your piece, the Jade Chamber piece will be scaled for the game.
Ahora comprendo la preocupación de Shinji.
Yes, it's a challenging project, but also, not for profit is really not something I ever expected from Lady Ninguang. How do I put it? It just seems
Inusual de su parte.
In business, everything comes down to profits versus losses. You have to keep a cool head and make rational judgments. But shrewdness is easily perceived as cynicism in the eyes of others. People come to think of you as someone who cares only about money and not people. Hardly the worst thing in the world, of course. But it has caused obstacles for me in the past.
¿Dificultad las cosas?
Well, for example, I once had a case where someone backed out of a deal with me to sell to someone else. Another case is where I offered distinctly more competitive terms in an investment, and this ended up arousing their suspicion. That Ninguang, they thought. She must be up to something. We can't let her get away with it.
I see.
But these problems disappeared all but completely after the battle against Osile. Why?
Wow.
Because the whole of Liyue witnessed me destroying my Jade Chamber. At least, that's the most reasonable explanation I can think.
Oh, I get it. You're saying that back when you sacrificed the Jade Chamber, you gained everyone's respect in return. You're not seeking to make a profit from these chess pieces because what you're commemorating is your personal contribution to Liyue Har. It was the deal of the century. And as long as you keep capitalizing on it, business will be plain sailing for you in the future.
Yes, exactly.
Truly a brilliant strategy, Lady Ninguang. Now I understand why this set needs to be so perfect and why it's okay that it doesn't turn a profit.
It will be a lot of work, and I'm most grateful to you. Make sure the Traveler's piece is exactly how he wants it. We can't go letting him down.
Don't you worry. We'll put our all into it.
Well, that's that then. Let's head back to the Jade Chamber. There's something I want to discuss with you.
Ok, pues parece que volvemos a la Cámara de Jade. Así que nada, vamos de nuevo a abrir el mapa y vamos a pegarnos el buen TP a la mismísima Cámara de Jade. Me está gustando muchísimo lo que digo, lo divertido, ¿no? Que es al final todo el tema de aquí, de la cámara y demás. Está bastante chulo. Ahí está Ninguang, vamos a ver. ¡Hey! ¿Cómo va? Qué bonitas pistas,
I have a question for you, and I'd like to hear your honest opinion. And I, in turn, will tell you how I really think.
Vale.
When we were at Mingxing Jewelry, I admitted that my decision to sacrifice the Jade Chamber was a calculated one. I had already considered what I stood to lose and to gain. When you heard that, did it make you think that maybe I really was a cynical profit chaser after all? Yes, well, at the time, it seemed to me that sacrificing the Jade Chamber was the inevitable decision. All that talk about making up for my losses was really just to console myself. I was lying to Xingxi. My decision to destroy the Jade Chamber was nowhere near as thought through as I made it out to be. Afterwards, I consoled myself by reasoning that all my wealth comes from Liyue Harbor. So, to lose Liyue Harbor is to lose everything. But it just didn't work. Because I had just severed ties with a lifelong companion. I stared out at the sea for goodness knows how long. I just couldn't let it go. There was no way I could console myself. But as time went by, I received so many thank you gifts and letters from people. Everyone was describing how they now saw me in a new light, how I'd become an inspiration to them. I gave up the Jade Chamber without a moment's hesitation. And I did it for the sake of Liyue Harbor. All of this was so encouraging to hear. It made me feel that my dear old companion's sacrifice was not in vain.
¿Y por qué le mentiste a Xingxi?
Because, to most people, the idea that Lady Ninguang is someone who battles with grief and struggles to let go of the past, this is one aspect of the truth that I can share only with you. The fact that I can't always be as strong. Thank you for your comforting words. It feels good even just to be able to talk about it. I'm sorry that you have to see me in this state. But look where I am now, standing on the deck of the Jade Chamber once more, taking in the view. And if I end up having to do it all over again in the future, I will not hesitate to make the same decision again.
Mola. Creo que hemos acabado la misión. Aquí está, viendo la buena vista, ¿no? Voluntad inamovible. Guardamos la foto y ya lo tenemos. Pues bueno, ¿qué toca ahora? Continuar con la siguiente, en este caso, interacción de esta misión. Ya tenemos, en este caso, otro de los finales. Ya tenemos 2 de 5. Pero vamos a venir de nuevo y vamos a ver otro de los finales. Así que, en este caso, como ya sabéis, estamos con tiempo libre y ahora hay que buscar la otra decisión. Vamos a cargar esta parte y vamos a despertar a Ninguang. Así que ya sabéis, entramos dentro de la Cámara de Jade y vamos al lío. Vale, pues vamos a ir aquí y vamos a llamar a la puerta de Ninguang. Como siempre, esperamos a que se despierte. Y ahora hay que ver un poquito qué opciones tomar. Así que vamos allá. Este diálogo ya lo hemos visto 2 veces, así que lo vamos a pasar rápido con las decisiones importantes. Como siempre. Vale.
So, what's
Mira estos
item
planes.
I imagine this must
Sí,
have
pero
taken
dijo que
by
no iba a intervenir.
sure. My schedule is usually so it'll be quite nice to take.
Vale,
I don't
todo lo de
often
siempre.
still. So then.
Vale, hagamos lo que no has tenido la oportunidad de hacer antes. Y aquí es donde hay que buscar las variantes en la conversación.
Interesting. Because
Vale.
as far as most people are concerned,
Vamos a decirlo de arriba, pero ser un
Mora is
miembro de
the
las
key
7
to
estrellas de
any and
Liyue puede
all
ser una
opportunity.
limitación.
Yes. You're absolutely right. I want to do something a little self-indulgent.
Tienes
Is
todo el
that
día
okay
para ti,
by
haz
you?
lo que quieras.
Thank you. All right, here it is. I was born into a humble family, and all the wealth you see now
¿Sabes
began with a
pescar?
Fishing isn't the A lot of the old
Esto lo hemos
folks like to
visto.
brag about how I used
Es
to be
difícil de
their
imaginar.
They were a tough time. If I didn't make any money in the morning, I want to relive that time for my life. So how about it? Will you join me?
No es lo que esperaba, pero parece que será
Great.
divertido.
Then we're not to use our status or reputation. The goal is to see how much.
Vamos al Banco del Reino del Norte a buscar algo de trabajo. Aquí es lo importante.
I can see why you'd suggest that. But Northland Bank is a special case. I rather suspect I would not be welcome there.
¿Por los problemas que tuviste en el pasado?
Yes, and also... Never mind. I'll just show you. It won't eat up too much time. I expect they still hold a grudge against me to this day.
Vale, pues parece que hemos elegido la otra opción. Así que... vamos a ver qué pasa ahora. Ve al Banco del Reino del Norte. Vamos a Liyue. Vale, pues ahora ya hemos desbloqueado la última opción de esta parte, ¿no?, de la misión. Así que, como ya sabéis, vamos a tener que venir aquí al Banco de Liyue. Y la mejor opción, como siempre, es teletransportándonos a este punto de teletransporte. Y desde ahí avanzar un momentito a ver qué está pasando con Ninguang y por qué le guardan rencor en el Banco de Liyue. Vale, vamos acá. Y vamos hacia el banco. A ver qué tal es esto. Se supone que por aquí podemos subir, ¿no? Madre mía, la carga de texturas en Play, de verdad os lo digo, últimamente es que va fatal. Desde la última actu, o sea, me está pasando mucho y más en Liyue, no sé qué habrán hecho. Ahora ya, por ejemplo, ha cargado a trozos, pero es que a veces no aparece en mes. Vale, vamos al banco y vamos a ver qué ha pasado por aquí. Sería guay vernos al tartas ahí, en plan de, hey, ¿qué pasa? Vamos a ver. Venimos por aquí. Por cierto, para los que no lo sepáis, obviamente lo tendréis todo, pero aquí arriba, normalmente cuando venís hay un cofre que podéis coger, ¿vale?, para sacaros un dinerito así extra y fácil en el juego. Yo os lo digo por si todavía no habéis cogido, pues tenéis ahí una bonita cantidad de moras. Pero bueno, vamos ahora aquí y al lío. Caterina.
Lady Ninguang.
Ojo, se palpa la
I would hope
tensión
that you're
en el
not here to
ambiente.
create further trouble for the Fatui. With all due respect, too much official pressure will risk driving our bank out of business.
There's no need to be so hostile. I'm just here to talk business. So, are you in business or not?
That depends on the proposal, and it's not my decision alone. But first, tell me, why should we believe that you really are here for business? Because if you're here to make us suffer huge losses like last time, then I'm sorry, but none of us here can afford that.
Straight to the point, I see. Works for me. Traveler, we're leaving. Let's not waste any more of our time here.
Vale, sal del banco y habla con Ninguang. Pues vamos fuera. Bueno, yo creo que ha sido un poquito bastante claro todo esto. Pero bueno, ha estado bien, ha estado guay, ha molado muchísimo. Pero aquí aún hay más cosas que hacer. Vamos allá. Me están gustando, los finales de Ninguang, son divertidos. Pero es que es lo que yo, los encuentros al final cogen y toman bastante rato, Hola.
Do you see what I mean now? Their attitude was just as I expected.
Ni siquiera intentaron ocultar su desprecio por ti.
That's for sure. Although our diplomatic relations with Snezhnaya haven't broken down completely. I dealt them a rather ruthless blow with the size of the reparations payment I imposed. This sum was paid by Northland Bank, so they are still wary of me to this day.
Así que el Banco del Reino del Norte es parte de los Fatui.
Yes,
Bueno, que ya lo
with
sabíamos, pero
some
no porque el prota lo
exceptions,
pregunta.
but that is more or less correct. If you encounter them in any other nations during your travels, be on your guard. They are more than just a commercial organization.
Al menos aprendimos algo.
That's okay. But that's quite enough politics for today. Let's get back to our fun little survival game.
¿Sientes eso?
Now that you mention it, yes. We're being watched.
Creo que nos han estado siguiendo desde que salimos del Banco del Reino del Norte.
What are they plotting this time?
Hay que preguntarle a alguien.
My thoughts exactly. But we need to be discreet. Let's act natural, determine who our tail is, then lure them somewhere more deserted so we can keep moving. Just walk forward.
Vale, vamos a avanzar. A ver. Ahí tenemos uno, ¿eh? De los Fatui. Persona sospechosa. Te pillé.
What's the big idea? I'm enjoying the view here. Quit bothering me.
¿No?
Join the Adventurers Guild. You'll have a blast.
Okay, I think there's a lot of foot traffic here, but if you look closely, you'll see only a handful of people have been watching us constantly. But I'm still not sure which of them is our tail.
Hay que esperar un poco más.
Agreed. Whoever it is will continue to follow us.
Jewelry's out of stock, but we have some new items in. The key here is consumer psychology.
Join the Adventurers Guild.
I think we've narrowed it down a little further, but let's stay calm until we're 100% sure. It shouldn't take much longer.
Vale. Está claro que es el que he elegido yo, pero bueno. Vaya, aquí también está el mismo, ¿no?
I think I have the answer.
Yo también.
Let's get out of his line of sight and sneak up on him. Don't get the wrong person, though, or...
Yo creo que es este.
Come now. Did you really think we wouldn't notice you sneaking around?
What? I'm not doing anything.
Di la verdad.
I don't know what scheme Northland Bank has in the work, but let's make a deal. How cooperative you are now decides how much immunity I give you when this gets investigated. Or do you seriously think Northland Bank won't throw you to the wolves when push comes to shove? Why don't you weigh the pros and cons and give me a clear answer before I retract my offer?
Es muy severa.
Sorry, Lady Ninguang. My assignment was just to follow you, I promise. When you showed up unannounced at Northland Bank, everyone was instantly on high alert. We figured you must be up to something, but your brief conversation left us none the wiser as to your intentions. We couldn't just overlook it. We had to get to the bottom of it before we could put our minds at rest.
¿Son tan precavidos?
I know they're wary of me, but this is still an overreaction, surely. This all feels very suspicious. I only took you there to demonstrate how tense things are. Is there anyone else following us besides you?
Yes. They would have seen this and reported back.
Then we need to get moving. The longer they have to react, the fewer clues they'll leave behind.
¿Estás lista?
No time. Keep him with you.
Vale. Pues parece que tenemos que volver al Banco del Reino del Norte, así que vamos allá. Me ha molado mucho este fragmento, ha estado divertido y lo que digo, improvisamos aquí un poquito la buena persecución y vemos un poquito a los Fatui y Ningguang, que ya sabéis que aquí los Fatui tienen mucho poderío, así que es interesante. Vamos allá. Se ha quedado Xiao ahí haciendo el muñeco, pero bueno.
Saying that Ningguang hasn't done anything? Impossible. She wouldn't have shown up here out of the blue without good reason. Keep investigating. We must ascertain her intentions.
So much commotion. This must be an important meeting.
Oh, great.
It looks like I wasn't supposed to be privy to the contents of this particular meeting.
So, you are here to investigate us after all. Where did you get wind of this?
That doesn't matter. What matters is that I made a brief and inconsequential visit, and your first reaction was to immediately arrange a sizable surveillance operation with myself as the target. You couldn't have advertised your guilty conscience more clearly if you'd tried. You may as well come clean. You know I will not turn a blind eye to any violation of the rules in Liyue Harbor.
Even if we cooperate with her investigation, she's bound to find problems even where there are none. Well, if you're such a stickler for the rules, you can carry out your investigation by the book.
Fine by me. Then I'll take my time. But you'll be begging to tell me everything by the time I'm through.
Vale, sobreprotección completado. Amago y estocada. Nadie desea enfrentarse a Ningguang. Perfecto. Pues ya tenemos otro de los finales. Así que ahora lo que toca es volver un poquito a cargar, en este caso, la parte de la misión que de la cual hemos hablado antes. Por tanto, vamos aquí y al lío. Ok, pues ahora lo que tenemos que hacer es volver a planear un itinerario, así que tenemos que volver a la Cámara de Jade a hablar con Baishi. Con esto podremos continuar y poner un poquito las diferentes opciones que se nos puedan presentar. Así que ya lo hemos seleccionado, volvemos aquí y vamos a ver en este caso la opción que es el tema de que no tenga tiempo libre y nos vamos a intentar currar un itinerario para Ningguang. Me ha gustado bastante de momento los 3 finales que llevamos descubiertos y completados, han sido muy divertidos y es una cosa que mola muchísimo porque realmente vemos que en cada uno de ellos, ¿no? El personaje nos va mostrando un poquito de cómo es y cómo actúa ante X situaciones. No sé, creo que está bastante guay. Estos encuentros de esta actualización han estado divertidos. Y son 2 personajes muy diferenciados, ¿no? En este caso, uno es el nuevo que no conocemos de nada y viene muy bien para introducirlo. Y Ningguang, lo que digo, es una 7 estrellas de Liyue, es un personaje que lleva desde prácticamente el principio del juego. Bueno, lleva desde el principio del juego, mejor dicho, ¿no? Y creo que es bastante guay el poder tenerla, conseguir y jugar un poquito y desbloquear esas cositas, ¿no? De sus maneras de ser, conocer el personaje. No sé, me ha gustado bastante. Vamos a hablar con Baishi y a ver qué pasa.
Before I get into specifics, I want to start by, as a member of my usual job. For example,
esta es la intro, vale. ¿Te sumiste en tus pensamientos? Eso solo por sacar.
I'm sure she was
Vale, ahora lo que hay que avanzar es hasta la parte que nos diga lo del tiempo.
I can go through the methods I use, all in a day's work. Currently, there are 100. Yes, I'll go through the most. First is the then a discussion. Right after that, there's.
Espera.
Yes, you do. You need to take ample knowledge of all. I assume this is all making sense. Unless you had any other questions at this point?
No, olvídalo.
Good. Then let's press on. We're tight on time here, and there's a lot to get through. And we still need to leave enough time for you to prepare Lady Ningguang's schedule.
Ya sé lo que tengo que hacer.
Already? Wow. You're a fast learner.
Wonderful. Then I'll be counting on you to provide my schedule for tomorrow.
Lo haré lo mejor
I'm
posible.
grateful for your assistance. If anything else is unclear, you can ask by Sher.
Take care, Lady Ninguang.
Vale. Está bien. Haré mi mejor esfuerzo. Vale. Desayunar, bañarse, cambiarse de ropa y hacer los preparativos para el viaje. Reunirse con el comerciante Luo Chao en el pabellón Luili. Vale. Vale, lo importante es el punto 4.
Good. You factored in both priority and efficiency, and produced a rigorous and well-structured schedule. Excellent work. You've got quite a knack for this.
Me halagas.
Please be here at the Jade Chamber tomorrow morning before Lady Ninguang wakes up and start preparing based on the schedule. With you helping out here, we will be able to focus fully on the auction. It will be quite a complicated affair.
Espero que todo salga
I
bien.
hope so too. You must be exhausted. Make sure you get an early night tonight.
Vale, pues parece que vamos a tener que hacer un montón de cosas, así que poca broma. Y en este caso ahora lo que tenemos que hacer es esperar a mañana para poder despertar a Ninguang. Como ya sabéis, esto repite el proceso de antes, pero ahora hemos cogido el otro camino, así que ahora en este caso tendremos que volver a hacer que el tiempo pase hasta las 7 de la mañana. Lo bueno, aquí ya nos cuenta como día, vamos a poner las 7:30, por ejemplo, 7:35 y al lío. Vale, venimos aquí y ya sabéis, llamamos a puerta de Ninguang y al lío.
Yes, I'm already awake.
La rutina de siempre.
I'll
Habla
be
con
out in a
Ninguang,
moment. I'm just changing.
Ahora no toca tener un día
Good
libre,
morning.
sino que toca trabajar.
Did you sleep well?
Como siempre.
That's good. I was worried you'd be a little... Now then, item
Le
1.
enseñamos la agenda.
Lunch at Lioli Pavilion with Miss Luo Chiao. Ah, yes. I remember the invitation. No,
¿Es tu
someone
amiga?
I've never met before. Today's lunch will be our first time meeting each other.
Entonces, ¿por qué hay que prepararse? Ahí no me ha quedado claro.
She's paying a high price for my time, and I intend to make sure she gets her money's worth.
¿No?
Otherwise, tens of millions of Mora is rather a high price for a lunch.
¿Decenas
Even
de
one at
millones?
Lioli Pavilion. That's right. Even at this price, there is no shortage of people willing to pay for a lunch opportunity with me. To be clear, I've never had any hand in setting the price. I too was rather surprised to see it become so expensive.
Madre mía, es
Time
VIP,
is
Ninguang.
very valuable to me, so when I first came up with the idea, I made a rule that my time would go to the highest bidder. Gradually, it developed into a lucrative business.
Más bien una inversión que
Yes,
flipas.
that sums it up very well. Most people looking to buy my time are business people who believe that whatever they spend now, they will make back several times over in due course. Naturally, for anyone looking to make a profit in a complex market, the bottom line is having the requisite experience and expert. As for how much my insight is worth in terms of Mora, everyone
eso
has
es lo
their
que
own
piensan los
idea.
ricos.
You're a very lucky person, you know. You get to sit in on this lunch for free. In the hands of a professional business person, the kind of information you'll be exposed to would be worth...
Escúchale con atención.
there's no need to be nervous, of course.
Vale, vamos a desayunar. Y ahora hay que desayunar con Ninguang, ¿no? Parece que esto es al otro lado, así que vamos allá. Vamos a ver qué pasa. Un momento, esto de aquí se ha modificado para la ocasión, ¿no? Poca broma. Qué currado.
Did you organize this entire breakfast?
Yo solo programé la hora.
I know what's going on then. Please, sit. Have a taste of the Jade Chamber's chef's cooking. This kind of food tastes far less satisfying if left out for too long.
Gracias, pues voy a comerlos. Sí.
What do you think? Is the food to your liking?
Comí mucho sin darme cuenta.
Don't forget we have a lunch later. Save some space, or you might miss out on some even better food. Still, I'm happy to see that you approve of my culinary tastes.
¿Sueles desayunar así con tus secretarias?
On occasion. Usually everyone is too busy for a leisurely sit-down meal. There is an awful lot to get done most of the time. Breakfast also isn't usually so lavish, hence my surprise when we got here. I actually thought you had cooked it all yourself.
Podría cocinar un par de cosas.
Relax, I'm just joking. Baishar probably made arrangements yesterday to add a few extra dishes to the breakfast menu. You willingly took this work on, knowing that it would be tedious, and you have worked diligently. My secretaries and I are very grateful to you. Treating you to some food is but a small token of our appreciation.
Saben bastante bien.
Breakfast sets the tone for the rest of the day. You can't compromise on it. If you wake up to the same monotonous meal each day, you will start to feel fatigued even before you start working. Well, I'm done eating. We should get ready, then head off to Liali Pavilion. I have some preparations to make first. Could you bring my clothes to my room, please?
¿Tienes que cambiarte de ropa?
I need a change of mood, and a change of clothes will facilitate that. Who knows? Perhaps you will have a completely different impression of me after I change outfits. I already instructed Longyang to have my outfit ready. You can fetch it from her.
Entendido.
Thank you. I'll be in my room.
Vale, aquí está la ropa.
Hello, how may I help?
Vengo a recoger la ropa de Ninguang.
Ah, yes, of course. Please wait a moment. I'll go and get them. Here you are. Please give this to Lady Ninguang.
Te tomaste tu tiempo.
Yes, this whole room is full of Lady Ninguang's personal items. Not just clothes either. There are all kinds of jewelry and ornaments. Lady Ninguang asked us to rearrange this room recently. We're currently right in the middle of that, so everything's in a bit of a mess. That's why it took me a little time to find this for you.
Parece que Ninguang tiene una colección personal enorme.
Anyway, you can take...
Vale. Ok, pues ahora hay que darle la ropa a Ninguang. Vamos a ir a su habitación. Ahí está.
Did you get it?
Sí.
Ah, this is the one. Please, wait for a moment.
¡Ojo! El traje que veremos en el evento, poca broma. Qué guapada de traje.
I had this specially tailored recently, and I must say, I'm really rather fond of it. What do you think? Be honest. I just want to know your first impression.
Es precioso.
Phew. Thank you. I was actually a little nervous. Knowing that it has your seal of approval makes me feel much more self-confident.
¿A ti te queda bien todo?
Oh, then it's mere flattery. You pick your moments to wisecrack, don't you? Now I don't know whether to take what you said earlier seriously. I never knew you had such a mischievous side. All right, let's head to Liali Pavilion.
Vale. Banquete en el pabellón Luigi, ¿no? Vamos allá. Esto es de nuevo Liyue, así que vamos a tener que venir en este caso a esta zona de por aquí. Vamos al lío. Vale. Vamos a ver. Lo bueno es que está aquí al lado, así que vamos a poder entrar fácil. Vamos a ello. Entrar en el pabellón Liuli. Siempre lo digo mal el nombre. Vamos a ver. Liu Xiao.
Lady Ninguang.
Sorry to have kept you waiting.
No, not at all. I know that you have 1,000 different things to do each day. I'm very grateful for any amount of time you can spare for me.
Great. Well, let's leave the formalities aside from now on and make this just a friendly chat. This is the Traveler. I'm assuming you've heard of him. He happened to be in Liyue Harbor today, so I invited him to come along. It's a rare opportunity to dine with him, too. Do you mind if he sits with us?
No, not at all. On the contrary, I'm honored. What a surprise to be dining with the illustrious Traveler, too. I've always been fascinated by you and your adventures. There's so many questions I'd love to ask you. Oh, I'm sorry. Where are my manners? I forgot to introduce myself. Look at me, getting all overexcited. I'm Luo Qiao, a businesswoman. I work mostly in the textile business, but recently I've been considering branching. That's what I wanted to ask Lady Ninguang for some advice about. I didn't know there'd be a surprise guest involved, too. So, the rumors are true, then?
Rumors? About what, exactly?
You know, the rumors about the two of you, Lady Ninguang and the Traveler, having a closer than average relationship. You haven't heard?
No.
Come on. You must know that Lady Ninguang's every move is in the spotlight. That obviously includes her relationships. And if you didn't have some sort of special relationship, why would she invite...
Interesting. Yes, we do have a special relationship, but I don't see anything unusual about it. The Traveler is a national hero in Liyue whose actions have directly contributed toward the prosperity we enjoy today. Even putting aside my official status as one of the Liyue Qixing, I admire him on a personal level too.
Oh, yes. Oh, there is nothing unusual about it at all. I was just observing that Lady Ninguang now seems to have a second interesting character in her innermost circle. The first one being the captain.
You're comparing apples and sunsettias there. Whenever Beidou returns to Liyue Harbor, all she brings me is a headache. I've missed out on a number of extremely promising investment opportunities thanks to her. In fact, the timing is always so suspiciously coincidental, I can't help but wonder if she's doing it on purpose.
Investment opportunities? Oh, do you mean the luminescent spine business? I hear that's been all the rage recently.
No, something else. All the talk about luminescent spines is just empty hype.
Oh, but isn't there some new technology from Fontaine that needs lots of luminescent spines to make it work?
If it were really that profitable, those in the know would have kept it as quiet as possible. You have to wonder, if the news is spreading like wildfire, who's fanning the flames? I had my secretary do some analysis. The current price of luminescent spines far exceeds the profits that could be made on the end product. So I would advise you to be cautious.
I see. Well, I was planning to get your opinion on how to get started in that business.
In my opinion, there are many people around with ulterior motives, making this a very risky business to enter into in the short term. Long term, it's very difficult to say, but I believe there's too much uncertainty to make it worth your investment. You worked hard to earn every more you own, and you should be just as careful spending it as you were making it.
Un análisis muy acertado.
You think so too, huh?
Como mínimo habría que hacer una investigación previa antes de poner ningún mora.
Okay, got it. If that's what both of you think, Maybe it'd be a better choice to invest this money into an industry that I'm genuinely interested in getting involved with.
La charla de negocios continúa.
Lady Ninguang,
¿Vale?
thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today.
Good. I'm glad I could be of some help.
Now I see why you were able to become the most successful business person in Liyue Harbor. You think clearly, you are very knowledgeable, and you keep yourself well informed. It would take me a very long time to come anywhere close to your level.
Este es el motivo por el que tanta gente está dispuesta a pagar por pasar un rato con Ninguang.
You've been listening for a while. Are you getting bored?
No, es todo muy interesante.
Has it sparked an interest in the business world for you?
Tal vez intente montar un negocio en el futuro.
So you want to be my competitor? Well then, I suppose I'll have to start looking over my shoulder. Or how about this? I'll invest in you early on, before you make it big.
I won't take up any more of your time. Thank you. This lunch was everything I was hoping for and more. I can't wait to try out everything I've learned.
See you next time. I'll look forward to hearing good news from you soon.
Qué manera de enseñarnos el traje, ¿eh? A ver.
Right then. Lunch is over. I assume you have something planned next? I'm a little concerned about the auction. I wonder how my secretarial trio is getting along.
No te preocupes, son muy hábiles.
Yes, you're right. Whatever happens, they can handle it. In that case, what's next on the schedule?
La reunión con los informantes.
Okay then. Let's go to Mingxing Jewelry first.
Vale, tiene que recoger algo. Vamos allá. Vale. Ok, parece que ahora tenemos que venir a recoger un objeto, así que vamos allá. A ver... Uy.
Hello. I'm here to collect the item I handed in for repair.
Ah, Lady Ninguang. One moment, please. I'll fetch it immediately.
¿Es algo muy
Very
valioso?
good. Don't rush now.
Sí, no, buena respuesta.
Please, handle it with care. Yes. You
Bueno, no
probably
exclusivamente.
imagine that Mingxing Jewelry deals exclusively in expensive luxury goods. The workers here are very skilled. So this time, though, I just had them do a simple repair. The item is quite ordinary. In fact, the cost of the repair was more than the item was ever worth.
Lady Ninguang, your
Vaya.
comb has been fixed. Please inspect it and see whether you're satisfied with our work. We did everything we could to restore it to its original condition. You'll still see a few marks on there, though. This was unavoidable because of how badly damaged
Sí,
the
es que
item
es algo
was.
corriente.
That's fine. Thank you for your hard work.
Ah, es el recuerdo de la
Yes,
madre de
though
un
it is
informante.
something
Vale,
very
vale.
precious to one of my informants. It reminds her of her mother. My informants often provide
Eso es
me with
verdad.
extremely important information. Trust is of
Pensé que
far
la
greater
información solo
importance
podría
than
comprarse
profit
con
in the
hora.
relationship between me and my informants. It's understandable to think that way, and in the vast majority of cases, you'd be but things are a little different with these particular informants. Mora doesn't get you very far with this crowd. And this only makes me all the more excited to meet with them. Thank you for the repair, Xingqi. This is a great help.
Oh, don't mention
Vale.
it. It's always a pleasure, Lady Ninguang.
Let's go
Vale,
and
tenemos el
meet
peine
them.
reparado. Y hay que reunirnos con los informantes. Vamos a ver qué pasa ahora. ¡Los niños! ¡Qué fuerte!
Auntie Ninguang! Hi, Auntie Ninguang!
¿Y los informantes
Hello,
son
my dears.
niños?
It's been a long time, hasn't it? Yes, indeed. And they are some of my most reliable helpers and friends. I didn't want to involve them in intelligence gathering for me at first, But they, on the other hand, were so enthusiastic about the idea that I thought it couldn't hurt to try. I treated it as a little game between us. It turned out that they delivered the goods and thoroughly enjoyed themselves while they were at it. So, it was a win-win. So, fill me in. How have you all been doing?
Great! Mom and Dad have taken me on loads of cool trips recently. It's been loads of fun. But you didn't do your homework, did you? Yeah, you still gotta try. Like teacher says, Liyue Harbor is in a new age now, and we've got a really important part to play.
No sabía que hubiera
This
influido
new
tanto.
age started after that great battle, you know. Well, this is a dramatic change, unique in all of the millennia of Liyue's history. What about you, Nan?
I'm fine.
Oh yeah, I just remembered. A load of really big boats came into the harbor the day before yesterday. Yeah, that's right. All the merchants were there, and it was really noisy. And then the people on the boat started unloading all these crates. There was a...
Oh, I see. That'll be the fishing boats coming back from the open ocean. How much cargo were they carrying?
Yep. I made sure to look at the waterline, just like you said. They looked really full this time.
My
¿Cómo puedes saberlo?
goodness. Well, it sounds like they made quite a big catch. The heavier the boat, the lower the hull sits in the water.
Ojo, ¿eh?
So you can tell how heavily loaded a vessel is from the height of the waterline. How deep a fully loaded vessel will sit in the water varies from ship
Esto me
to
tengo que
ship.
fijar en la vida real, ¿eh?
But it's something you can tell from experience, at least for the kinds of vessels you see regularly.
Muy
Since
inteligente.
Auntie Ninguang taught me how to do it, I can tell with just one look.
A few days ago,
Ojo, de nuevo nombran Fontaine,
I heard
una
some
de
people
las
saying
futuras
that
zonas
a
del
big
juego.
merchant from
Zona
Fontaine is
tecnológica y
coming
el reino
soon
del
to
agua.
buy luminescent
O hidro,
spines.
como queráis llamarlo.
They said that when they get here,
Eso
the
es lo
price
contrario de
will
lo que
go
predijo
up.
el
Oh,
análisis de Ninguang.
really? Who did you hear this from?
No.
All right, never mind. So, how about what they said?
Are you okay? You're usually the one that
El
talks
peine.
the most.
It's okay. Don't be upset.
It's my comb. You remembered.
Of course I did. If I make you a promise, I will always keep it.
Thank you, Auntie Ninguang.
It was just a small favor, really.
But they said you'd be too busy to remember about a boring old comb.
Parece que hay algo detrás de esto.
Uh-oh.
It's all right. Don't worry. There just seems to be some kind of misunderstanding here.
Yeah, Auntie Ninguang's not gonna blame you.
I'm sorry. I told that thing about the luminescent spines wasn't something I heard. Two people came and told me to say it to you. I told them I didn't want to lie to Auntie Ninguang, but, they told me you'd forgotten all about the comb, and then they bought me a new comb, and I'm sorry. I'll give them the comb back right away. No comb is better than the one you helped get fixed.
I know how much it means to you. It was a gift from your mom before she left Liyue Harbor, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I'll be extra careful with it from now on.
Parece que alguien quiere
I
estafarte.
must say, this is most intriguing. How about this? You tell me where those two people are, and I'll take the comb back to them for you.
Okay. They're over at the docks.
All right then. Don't worry, it'll all be fine.
Are you gonna go punish the bad guys?
Now, this is a grown-up situation, okay? It's not. I'm just going to have a polite discussion with those two
Bueno,
grown-ups
pues
about
miedo
what
me da,
they're
¿eh?
allowed to do
A lo mejor
and what
tenemos
they're
algo de
not
pelea, no
allowed
sé.
to do.
De momento está siendo muy conversacional todo el tema de la aventura. Quitando la parte esta de los cofres, lo que digo, apenas hemos tenido mucho más que leer texto. Pero es lo que digo, es que Ninguang es un personaje que están haciendo que lo conozcas de una manera guay, así que está bien. ¡Ojo! Mira tú quién son. ¡Vaya! Cosas de la vida.
Do you think that kid's gonna fluff her lines? So, let's be honest.
Yes, I know. But we didn't have any other options. Ninguang adores that kid. She's not gonna get all suspicious just because her story doesn't quite add up.
It sounds like you underestimated me.
Se
the children
acaba de
as
poner la
well.
corbata.
Lady Ninguang?
You knew how important that comb was to Nan Nan, and you exploited that fact to emotionally manipulate her. You coached a child to lie, made her betray her own innocence and confuse her conscience. Do you not realize how contemptible that is?
Sorry, Lady Ninguang. We never should have crossed you like this.
That's not the point. Business is business. And at some point, we're all trying to get the better of one another. So if all you've done is fool me by feeding me false information, but you cannot put more above all else. You cannot go exploiting children for profit. Do you have any idea just how much damage that will cause?
It was hardly our first choice either. We were only acting out of necessity. We've been business partners for years now. We've gotten by, I guess, but never had any opportunities to expand. When we heard about the movement in the luminescent spine market, we thought to heck with it. Let's go up. So we stocked up a huge stash of luminescent spines and watched as the price went up and up. We thought this was gonna be it. We were gonna make our fortune.
But we waited and waited, and this mystery merchant from Fontaine never came. More and more people started to suspect it was all a huge scam. Suddenly, everyone with luminescent spines was running for the exit, selling as fast as they could.
Y entonces pensaron en Ninguang.
But we had so much inventory that no one was willing to buy it.
Oh yeah. As soon as Lady Ninguang makes a move, everyone follows her lead. If we don't sell the goods, we're both bankrupt. We're in debt up to our eyeballs.
To be brutally honest, we took out a loan and made a
Su análisis de
speculative
negocio era
investment is not a sob story. But not everyone has the capability to make rational decisions. Greed, a lust for wealth, and impatience. Do you now realize how dire the consequences of wild speculation can be?
100%. We've both barely slept in days. We begged people to take our stock off our hands. They laughed at us, called us idiots, thought it was all hilarious.
We messed up. Completely and catastrophically messed up. The savings we worked so hard our whole lives to build up, decimated, just like that. All we want now is a chance to start over.
Well, I can take your luminescent spines off your hands. But we will need a detailed contract. The portion of what I pay that exceeds the average price of luminescent spines in the past, you will have to pay back to me by some means in our future business dealings.
Huh? But that means our profit is zero.
Then you're free to find another willing buyer. But if you're seriously still insisting on turning a profit under these circumstances, I'm afraid you're beyond redemption.
Lady Ninguang is right. Let's swap the goods for cash and use it to pay off our debts and be done with it. This is a lifeline and we should be grateful for it. Forget about making money.
Yes. Yes, you're right.
I have no particular need for luminescent spines, but I'm quite sure I can uncover a market for it with a little research.
Okay, so, shall we get this deal done now, or...?
No need to hurry. Our deal is hardly the urgent matter here. Atoning for your transgressions is the main order of business. You took advantage of a child, and you are coming with me to make a full and unreserved apology. This is an opportunity for you to show remorse.
Oh, okay.
Vale.
Come on. Let's go back and see the
Vale,
children.
tenemos que regresar donde están los niños. Pues vamos allá. Me ha gustado bastante lo que digo, en el fondo, lo que digo, podría haberse cabreado muchísimo con estos dos y haberles destrozado bastante, pero ojo, ha sido muy comprensiva. Es lo que digo, Ninguang es un personaje que realmente, por más seria que parezca y todo lo que podamos decir, no es para nada un personaje plano, es un personaje con muchos matices, ¿no? Que al final pues me está gustando muchísimo conocerlo en este encuentro. No sé a vosotros qué os está pareciendo, pero me está gustando muchísimo el ir descubriendo poco a poco la historia. Y bueno, vamos a volver con los niños, porque supongo aquí estará el final de esta parte.
We're back. Everything's all sorted.
Huh? Oh, it's those two.
I'm sorry, Nan. I was lying to you when I told you that Lady Ninguang wouldn't fix your comb. I was completely in the wrong, and I
What do you think, Auntie Ninguang?
Decides lo que decías,
I
estaremos
think it
contigo.
should be your choice, and yours alone.
Well, since it's all sorted out now and nothing super bad happened, I guess it's okay. But we can't just let them off. We gotta show them you don't mess with us.
That's true. I'd certainly hate to see anyone else try to con you.
I've made up my mind. I want them to come play with us.
What?
Yeah! Now we have someone to play hide and seek with. Great idea. Let's go play hide and seek
Vosotros lo habéis
at the
buscado.
North Wharf.
Wait a second.
Nope. No
Vayamos con
waiting.
ellos.
So full of energy. Yes, of course. I wouldn't feel comfortable leaving them alone
Vale,
with
pues
those
parece que
two
ahora hay que jugar con los
buffoons.
niños. Ojo, lo que digo, me pensaba que estamos llegando ya al final, pero es bastante extensa, este encuentro. Tiene mucho tema con los finales y demás. Y aún a pesar de todo ello, me está gustando muchísimo y me está pareciendo divertido en su mayoría. O sea, quizás lo que digo, demasiado texto para el tema de los encuentros, ¿no? Esto es lo que digo. Yo, por ejemplo, me acuerdo mucho del encuentro de Bennett, que era de los primeros que tuvimos, y me encantó lo de la mazmorra, me encantaban las pruebas y todo, y aquí pues lo que veo es eso, que hay mucho texto y al final, aunque conozcamos los personajes y tal, es como una aventura conversacional.
Let me guess what you're thinking. You're thinking that there's not a huge difference between me turning
No es
these
tan malo,
children
pero-
into my informants and the actions of those two businessmen. Am I right? They were completely different when I first met them. They'd run away as soon
Bueno,
as
es que
they
eres la
saw me,
señorita Ninguang, ¿eh?
or
Ojo.
they'd be shaking with nerves and unable to speak. But gradually, they stopped seeing me as someone to be afraid of, and started seeing me as someone they can trust. For my part, I did my utmost to fulfill the duties of a responsible adult. I played games with them, but I also taught them observation skills, analytical skills, how to think critically. I never taught business, though. Now, they're much further ahead in their studies, and far more mature than their peers. This has given them confidence in themselves. I think that this is beneficial to them. Yes, I never had the chance to receive a good education as a child. That's why I hope to teach these children myself. Hopefully, I can pass on some of what I've learned. Someday they may realize that not everything is a win-win deal, that deception and one-upmanship are facts of life. But there's nothing wrong with that. When that happens, they will be ready to face the world head-on and become exceptional businessmen and
¿Quieres que sean
women.
tus herederos?
But until then, I am here to protect them. I will one day die. New Qixing will replace the old, and Liyue will continue to prosper. I hope the name Ninguang will
Vaya.
live on, but not as a person, as more of a symbol. If I can pass on everything I have learned, I can...
Come on, Auntie.
Vale,
We're not gonna
pues
wait.
parece que aquí ahora sí que está el final.
Come on. Let's
Y lo que
enjoy
digo,
this
nos hemos
while we
divertido con
can.
los enanos, hemos conseguido aprovechar la buena vista y nos lo hemos pasado muy bien aprendiendo mucho más de Ninguang, pero aún queda un final por hacer, así que vamos a guardar y vamos a buscar sacar el último de los finales.
Reduced to just standing around. How absurd.
Ok, para sacar el último de los finales tenemos que volver a la situación del encuentro del gran banquete y desde ahí parece que tendremos la siguiente opción. Así que vamos a venir y vamos a ver qué podemos hacer. Se encuentra cerca de donde estamos, por tanto habrá que elegir opciones que no habíamos elegido y supongo que ya podremos conseguir el último de los finales. Así que vamos al lío y vamos a ver qué pasa. Ahí vamos, para adentro. Vale. Venimos por aquí. Epa. Lucio.
Lady Ning. Sorry to have kept you.
No, no.
Great. This is the traveler. He happened to be in Liyue. Do you mind if he sits with us?
No, not at all. On the contrary, I've always been fascinated by you and your adventures. There's so... Oh.
Vale.
I'm Luo Qiao, a businesswoman.
Vale,
I work... That's what I wanted to ask Lady Ninguang. So?
Rumors? About what exactly?
You know, the rumors about the two of you. You haven't heard?
¿Esos rumores están muy extendidos?
Come on. You must know that Lady Ninguang's every move is in the spotlight. That, and if you didn't have some sort of special relationship, why would she invite...
Interesting. Yes, we do have a special relationship, but the Traveler is a national hero in Liyue whose actions have directly contributed toward the prosperity we enjoyed. Even putting aside my official status as one of the Liyue Qixing, I admire him on a personal level too.
Oh, yes.
You're comparing apples and sunsettias there. Whenever Beidou returns to Liyue Harbor, I've missed out on a number of extremely promising investment opportunities thanks to her.
Investment opportunities? Oh, do you mean the luminescent spine?
No, something else.
Oh, but isn't there some new technology from Fontaine that needs lots?
If it were really that profitable, those in the know would have kept it as quiet as possible. You have to... I had my secretary do some analysis. The current price of luminescent spines, so I would advise you to be cautious.
I see.
In my opinion,
vale,
long term...
todo lo que hemos visto.
You think so too? Huh?
Sí.
Okay, got it. Maybe it'd...
Vale, aquí está el tema de que continúan hablando, ¿no? Durante la comida.
Lady Ninguang.
Good. I'm glad...
Now I see why you were... You think clearly.
You've been listening for a while. Has it sparked an interest in the business world for you?
No sé nada de negocios, pero pude seguir la conversación porque lo explicas todo de forma clara.
That means you also have a good head on your shoulders, and the ability to learn rapidly.
Okay.
If you are in need of Mora, you should absolutely consider doing business.
I won't take up any more of your time. Thank you. This lunch was everything I was hoping for and more.
See you next time. I'll look forward to hearing good news from you soon.
Vale. Ya supongo que lo importante realmente no es aquí elegir ir a verlo de la
Right
subasta.
then. Lunch is over. I assume I'm a little concerned.
Pues vamos a ver. Y yo creo que con esto ya nos vamos a la otra
Good.
parte, ¿no?
Then let's do that. There are some slippery characters among the bidders, you see. So, even though my secretaries are very capable and experienced, I still can't help worrying for them a little.
Vale.
Come on. The auction is being held at Yujing Terrace.
Terraza Yunjin. Pues vamos para allá. Ok, pues lo que digo. Creo que ahora habremos desbloqueado la otra ruta y está la subasta, correcto. Esto era lo que importa entonces esta decisión del final. El resto, pues lo que digo, bastante easy. No me ha parecido muy complicado de momento el tema de los finales de este personaje. Creo que realmente lo han hecho muy sencillo. Pero sí que es verdad que a la hora de historia me ha parecido muy divertido. O sea, ya sea por lo que digo, ¿no? El mostrarnos un poquito a Ninguang, que es un personaje del cual no habíamos podido disfrutar tanto. Ya que realmente quitando su participación en la historia, pues luego, lo que digo, tampoco la he usado mucho y al final... Pues está bien saber un poquito, ¿no? De un personaje que es una de las 7 estrellas de Liyue. Y bueno, vamos ahora a venir en este caso por aquí a ver qué tal la subasta. Está en la terraza, así que yo incluso recomendaría de tirar del TP y irnos para evitar escalar. Ahora no carga el mapa, genial. Madre mía. Lo que os digo, últimamente la Play va fatal con el Genshin, ¿eh? O sea, y es con el Genshin, no sé por qué, no es el internet, no es nada, es el juego. Me tarda mucho en cargar las texturas en Play 4. Ahí está. A ver si lo solucionan con la próxima acto, porque la verdad que es la primera vez que pasa, ¿eh? O sea, esta actualización, yo no sé qué les ha pasado, pero algo creo que habrá sido por todo en Cayumilla, algún cambio o algo que hayan hecho, pero uff, le peta un poco, ¿eh? A ver, vamos a ir por aquí. Ya, Leo. Vale, aquí está la subasta, ¿no? Bye, hemos caído para hablar directamente con ella, ¿eh? Ojo. Poca broma.
Lady Ninguang, what brings you here?
I couldn't help but feel a little concerned. So I just came to see how everything is going.
We're about ready, and people are starting to arrive. I think we should be able to start on time.
Very good. I think I'll host the auction myself.
Huh? You want to do it yourself?
Yes. Just in case anything untoward happens. I can take care of it myself.
Then we'll leave the auction itself to you. But we'll be sure to lend our full support behind the scenes.
Have you attended an auction before?
Fui espectador en una.
Well, would you like to participate this time? You don't have to bid, of course. Just experience the atmosphere.
Bueno, será divertido.
All right then. Feel free to take a look around the venue before it kicks off. Check out the items up for bidding and see if there's anything you might be interested in.
Vale, inspecciona los objetos que se van a subastar. Vale, vamos a verlos. Horquilla. Material de escritura. Y el jarrón. Vale, ahora hay que esperar a que comience la subasta, ¿no? Entonces, venimos aquí y seleccionamos el reloj y ponemos entre... Ponía que eran las 4, ¿no? Vale. Vamos a ver. Me está gustando, lo que digo, son misioncitas divertidas estos encuentros. Y saber que lo próximo que viene ya es lo de Encayumilla, tengo muchísimas ganas de bajar ahí abajo. Así que vamos a ver qué pasa por aquí.
It's about time to start. Find yourself somewhere to sit and we'll kick things off.
Espera, quiero preguntarte algo.
Yes? What is it?
¿Los artículos que se subastan son valiosos?
That's for you to make a considered judgment on. It's precisely what makes auctions so interesting, don't you? Until the bids exceed the value of the item you're after, you can keep raising the price. If the bids go beyond what you can accept, then you let someone else take it. Perhaps this does not result in what you might call a fair price, but what it does do is identify the person who values the item the most.
De acuerdo. Veamos qué tal.
Yes. You should look forward to it.
Comienza la subasta.
The first lot is a teacup from my personal collection. Bids starting at 10,000 mora. That's 10,000 mora for the teacup.
Normalmente no se pagaría 10.000 por algo así.
20,000.
What?
30,000.
50,000.
LOL. Qué puja tan acalorada.
80,000. 80,000 over here.
I'll raise that to 100,000.
¿Pero qué está haciendo?
120.
Parece muy determinado.
All right, 150,000. Anyone else want to keep going now?
150 once?
170?
180,000.
180 once? 180 twice? 180. Sold!
Madre mía.
It's mine now.
No puedo creer que se vendiera por 180.000 moras.
Okay then. Moving straight on to the next lot.
Vale, aquí dice que todo se vende a
You
precio
seem
muy
to be
elevado.
getting quite into it.
Algo
What a
me daba
shame
mala
that you
espina.
didn't manage. Of course it did. That's because I didn't come here to sell my things. I'm sure you must find it quite odd that all these everyday items could fetch such a huge price at auction.
Pues sí.
Since you're curious, why not go and talk to the buyers? I'm sure they'll give you the answers you're looking for.
Vale. Pequeño vino.
Today wasn't my day. There were too many bidders, and they all seemed like experts to me. I guess I'll just have to wait for the next auction. Someday, I'll be the lucky one.
Vale. Vamos a hablar con Xiaofei.
Huh? You want to know why I paid so much? Well, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? Because the previous owner was Lady Ninguang. Sure, the item may look pretty ordinary, but that's probably just because I'm not a connoisseur, so I don't know how to appreciate it.
Vale. Entonces, o sea, la gente compra porque... No lo entiendo.
But I figured I'd buy it first, then go get it appraised by an expert. Then I'll be rich.
Vale, pues motivaciones -10, ¿no? Yingfeng.
I may have paid an arm and a leg for this, but in the end, I got the result I wanted.
¿No te preocupa que el precio estuviera inflado?
Nothing of Ningguang's could ever be overinflated. I'm far from the only buyer who believes that owned by Ningguang is worth paying a premium for. So how much I make just depends on how many people are even bigger fans of Ningguang than I am.
Bueno, viéndolo así, tienes razón y todo. Poca broma. Bueno, vamos a hablar con Ninguang. Me ha dejado un poco loco esto,
Well, did you find the answer yet?
Es porque todo el mundo tiene fe en tus decisiones y tu sentido estético.
That's certainly part of it. But every bidder will have noticed that none of these items have a particularly high going rate on the market in and of themselves. Despite this, they were all willing to pay very dearly for them. I wonder, is faith in me really the only factor in their appraisal of the item's value?
Si no, ¿qué otra cosa puede ser?
You'll see shortly. The one who spent the most money will surely be the quickest to realize. If all I wanted to do was make some quick mora by exploiting their blind faith in me, I have a million more effective ways of achieving that than hosting an auction. Every participant in this auction was handpicked by me, based on certain intelligence.
Lady Ningguang, something doesn't seem quite right with the items from today's auction. As unlikely as this sounds, and please forgive me for even bringing it up, but I had to ask. You weren't selling counterfeits today, were you?
Counterfeits? Absolutely not. What motive would anyone have for making copies of things like these? They are simply ordinary items, and there was no coercion or enticement during the auction.
Because we trusted you! Everyone knows that you love Mora, but we also know that you made your fortune through honest means, as opposed to scamming people.
You seem to have entered into dangerous linguistic territory there. You should know that unless you have evidence to support your outlandish claims, I am legally entitled to sue you for slander. Of course, if you have any genuine grievances about the auction, the lots, or the process, please enlighten me as to where exactly I went wrong.
You... Fine. Yes, technically, it was all legitimate. Guess all I can do is take the loss. But if word gets out about today's auction, people are gonna start seeing you as a con artist. No one would... I guess what I'm saying is this really in your best interests?
Let me answer that with a question. You claim that you were willing to pay a high price because you trusted me. But is that really the full story?
What do you mean? What else could it be?
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps it could be something to do with a lost item from the original Jade Chamber collection that has quietly made its way into your hands. When the Jade Chamber fell, countless valuable items from my collection plunged into the sea. A considerable number of these made their way back into Liyue Harbor through means unbeknownst to me, and passed through several pairs of hands before finally ending up in you.
Wait, you mean?
Yes. Everyone attending the auction today is in possession of lost property belonging to me. Or, to put it another way, they were all people who have had a taste of something that was mine and convinced themselves that I am someone to be taken advantage of. So I ask you again, your high bidding price, was it motivated by trust, or was it greed? The sole reason I held this auction is to reclaim my treasured possessions. If you are willing to return what is mine, I will refund all the money you spent in the auction today.
All right, fine. I guess I'll return it. You drive a hard bargain, like everyone says. I'll go and get it right now. Please just...
Despite his bad attitude, he cooperated in the end.
Ahora lo entiendo todo.
Good. The issue was that all items of mine that have been fished out of the sea have changed hands numerous times already. Determining who has legal ownership would be an extremely long-winded process with each item. I could have bought them back, but it's not in my nature to pay twice for the same thing. Least of all, when they'd be looking to make a handsome profit from my misfortune. After making some inquiries, I found them to be most uncooperative. So I had to resort to this auction to finally put a...
Me encanta
I just wanted my things back. Hardly an unusual sentiment. At most, a little childish, perhaps. What do you think it was about the Jade Chamber that defeated Osile?
¿Por qué explotó?
Well, its great weight meant that it hit Osile with incredible force, while the energy within triggered that spectacular explosion. Every piece of the Jade Chamber, from the stone walls and wooden beams down to the smallest ornament, contributed to its total weight. But in the end, they became objects of merchants' greed. It's hard not to get a little irked thinking about it.
Eso no es nada infantil.
Thank you for understanding. Now I've got one of my items back. Let me show you what makes it so special. The secrets of history shine through in the relics that survive. And this one now has the story of another age to tell.
Y bueno, aquí está completado, madre mía, el peso de una colección. Ni uno solo de los objetos que se sacrificaron durante la batalla decisiva debe perderse, por muy pequeño que sea. Pues ya tenemos con esto todos los finales del encuentro de Ninguang. Y bueno, ¿qué puedo deciros? Además de completar todos los finales, ojo, hemos desbloqueado dos nuevos logros de recuerdos del corazón. En este caso, estrella binaria de completar otra invitación de la Cámara de Jade y desbloquear todos los finales. Y el de... Después de que la calma me atormenta, Ninguang no puedo disfrutar de sus vacaciones. Ahí está, sobreprotección. Muy bien. Vale, pues ahora venimos por último aquí a misiones. Y ya sabéis, vamos a venir a las legendarias y vamos en este caso a abrir. Le he dado a cuadrado y esto se ha rayado. Finales, ahí está. Y podemos recoger las 60 protogemas y todo lo demás. Así que ahí lo tenemos. Pues nada, espero que os haya gustado el vídeo, espero que os lo hayáis pasado en grande con este encuentro de Ninguang. Y como siempre lo digo, nos vemos en el próximo vídeo de Genshin Impact. Adiós, viajeros.